Oh yeah. Alrighty. Alrighty, guys. We got ready. Feel free to get a cushion, something comfortable to sit on. A notebook would be handy.
I know exactly where to go. I know the city really well. So many shopping. So I'm not very worried. Shall I?
We'll just be right here behind the camera.
Yeah, anywhere here is good.
Feel
free to scoot in a little bit more too.
I would definitely get a video of us. It was my first class, and we had 3 people. You know, it's not like that. So then later on, you get one bigger, you can only do.
Yeah.
I go now. Okay, yes. The reason I'm sharing because I like know about this. I'm not doing anything without permission. Don't need places. Okay. Yeah. I go now or stay here for this? Where do you feel comfortable with? I know I have time. If I don't stay,
And the ones that you're working at it,
this is my
they wouldn't good. You charge it for the phone stick like a real.
okay, that's my
Alrighty. Feel free to grab a seat, get comfortable, a notebook, ideally. What? You want me to stand? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Sure. All good. Do your thing, bro. Alrighty. Okay, thank you guys for joining. This is my first live numerology workshop on YouTube as well. And I'm very excited to share a very deep passion of mine. To give you a bit of background before we get into the juice, numerology found me in the form of a book, as all good books usually do, when I was in Mexico over two years ago in November. And it fundamentally shifted my perspective on how I see myself. And that was the spark that I was looking for. There were many other modalities and tools that I was diving deep into, such as human design, astrology, but numbers seem to be the thing that resonates with me the most. And that might have something to do with the fact that I have a mathematics background, but understanding numerology has not only helped me understand myself, but it's helped me build a much clearer picture with my loved ones and my friends and my family, to the point where I am better equipped with more information as to how to handle certain situations and how to approach certain people based on what I see as their gift and certain challenges that they may be going through, and how I can ask the right questions to help them out of the shadow into the light, which is something we're going to get into a little bit later. But to start off with the foundations of numerology, really it begins with how numbers relate to my understanding and principles of God consciousness and the expansion of God consciousness from its rawest form. And so it all starts with 0. 0 in its rawest form is God consciousness. It encompasses everything and nothing simultaneously. And for this entity to experience itself, there needs to exist polarity. There needs to be a mirror that exists for it to see its own marvel. And so from this nothingness and everythingness, the polarity splits into 0 and 1. And so 1 being the first spark of light, let there be light. We are all that light. We are all one. We are all one. This is the fundamental code. You can call it to the matrix or to the reality that we're practicing and we're playing in. And so 1 therefore represents everything, the infinite, and 0 takes on the form of the nothing. I say nothing in quotes because if you think about the atomic spacing between the molecules in an atom, within the space in which an atom occupies, only 0.0000001% of that space is physical matter. The rest is nothing. And so really that's where the ether lies. That's where God really resides and creates. Okay. And so we can see this when we're adding orders of magnitude of 0, the potency of that grows more and more, right? And so that's like the essence of God consciousness fueling and increasing in magnitude. And so 1 really, 0 isn't really nothing. It's actually the fuel that fuels everything. But 0 and 1 are the primary core codes to the nature of our reality. That is my belief. And so now we have God consciousness expressing itself with this duality. Now it's ready to expand itself even more. And by law of mutual attraction, you have 1 ion or molecule, let's say, through the law of attraction, attracts in 1 similar to itself. And only through union and harmony can they truly unite to make 1 + 1 = 2. And so 2 encompasses the characteristics of harmony, unity, peace, balance. Here we have 1 spawning from nothing. And so the creation of 1, the spark of light, is inherently masculine. And the reflection of which is 2, inherently feminine. And so if we think about 1 being the masculine figure in our family, our fathers, and 2 being the feminine figures in our family, the mothers, we have 1 + 2 making 3, where you have the child, the Trinity. And so 3 therefore represents the rawest form of imagination and creativity. Think like childlike creativity. If you're ever observing babies or young children, I learn so much just observing them. They find interest and intrigue in the most random little pieces of things. It could be a piece of mud, but for them, it's the entire cosmos. It's always fascinating for me to get into the mind of a child and a baby to see what they're really thinking. Like, that is the rawest form of creativity that I interpret to be represented by 3. And so it's very creative, very expressive, very explorative in nature. Expanding on from this, we have the energy of 4. 4 represents the physical plane that we're living in. We've got the 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time. and that's what governs the realm that we live in. And 4 inherently represents structure, order, organization, and yeah, this is a number of a builder. Expanding on from this, we have 5. So we've got the prior structure of the 4, and we have 5 in the middle, wanting to break out of this structure and create its own. And so it does this by rebellion. 5 is the number of the rebel. It's the explorer. It's the incredibly creative and in its most authentic way. 5 also being the midpoint of the full cycle of 1 to 9. It has the ability to choose which direction it wants to go in. Both are equally valid. And it comes to a matter of choice, which is the direction that the intuition of that soul is pulling into. Expanding onto this, we have 6. 6 represents, if we think about this mathematically, we've got the 1, the masculine, the 2, the feminine, the 3, the child. 1 plus 2 plus 3 gives you 6. And so 6 represents family. It represents home, unity, harmony, community, compassion. And we'll go deep into the attributes of each number. But here what I'm doing is just explaining the expansion of God consciousness in expressing itself in different ways. You'll notice all of these numbers have their own personality, own characteristics, their own traits, their own light and shadow aspects. So moving on from 6, we've got 7. We've got experience, the family, the union, and now 7 represents a channel to source truth. It's a very sacred number in mathematics. And this is the number of what I interpret to be the hermit, someone who, I have a lot of 7 in my code too. And so the hermit is one that wants to tap into spirituality, philosophy, the real depth of the meaning of life, and often chooses isolation, not out of being disowned by society, but out of strength, because it is in the time of solitude that the healing happens, the learning happens, until that expression is ready to share with the world again. Following that, we have 8. Now, if we look at 8, it can also be written on like digital clocks. We see it written like this, right? For me, what that means is you've got the structure of the spiritual plane, thanks to the wisdom and experience of the 7 energy, tapping into that sacred channel of source truth. And then we have the structure of the 4 representing the physical plane. So what 8 represents is the combination of connection with spirit to understanding how to translate that wisdom into manifestation. And so 8 represents manifestation, abundance, power, really showcasing through authority what it means to create abundance. Moving on from that, we have the end of the cycle, which is 9. 9 represents the wisdom of all of the numbers experienced in the previous cycle. And so a lot of compassion, a lot of thinking bigger picture, thinking for the bigger community, thinking for the world, having that wisdom to understand that, okay, sometimes you need to step out of the way for others to go through their process because you have that wisdom that you've already gone through. And it's a challenging number, which we'll go into in a little bit. But 9 represents the end of a cycle, and it's all about understanding from the wisdom of the previous cycle, what are the things that we have learned that need to be let go, or identified that need to be let go, and what are the things that are beneficial for us in order to change those things or include new things for the next cycle. And so following this, we have 10. Now, in the rules of numerology, we want to simplify all the numbers to a single digit. And the only exception to this are master numbers and power numbers. So we have master numbers that are 11, 22, 33. Power numbers, you got 44, 55, etc. right? These numbers do not get simplified down to a single digit, and there's a very specific reason for that. But I'll just put a note here so we can go back into it. When we have double-digit numbers, 1 plus 0 equals 1. So this is how I write a double-digit denomination. Following this, we have 11, which does not get simplified, 12 being a 3, 13 being a 4, etc. And so what the double digits are essentially are the next level, the next iteration of the original cycle. And this goes on to infinity. And what's interesting with double digits specifically is that even if we have an expression of 4, it's comprised of the 1 and the 3. And so when we look into what the 13 really means, you can look into the characteristics of the 1 and the 3 and understand what combination is forming this 4. And we'll go into double digits a little later, but I just want to keep it quite simple right now. Does anyone have any questions up until now? Or am I good to continue?
The link between the 4 and the 8, so 4 is consciousness, is that correct?
4 represents the physical plane.
The physical, and so when you get into 8, you're linking that with conscious, so then it's physical and consciousness creating abundance.
Correct. It's the bridge between the channel of source truth, which is represented by the 7, bridging that into and bringing that wisdom into the physical realm. So you've got the structure of the spiritual realm and the structure of the physical realm in union. In its fullest expression is the rawest power of 8. And so you see a lot of 8 in, let's say, in China, for example. The Olympics that they had started on the 8th October, being the 8th month. August. October is the true 8th month, but according to our Gregorian calendar, August is the 8th month. China opened the opening ceremony to their Olympics was on the 8th of the 8th, 2008. And since that moment, China's economy rose from, I believe, the 6th or 7th largest in the world to, I believe, the 2nd largest in the world in a short space of time. And so the elites use astrology, numerology, and gematria to govern reality. And I can say that with confidence because I implement astrology, numerology, and gematria on crypto markets. And I have learned and constantly learning the cyclical patterns of the celestials that are influencing our reality and the price of Bitcoin and all the other coins too. And it's incredible. Like, this code is undeniable, like it exists. And so when I think about the market makers or the people that govern the market, they are absolutely using astrology, numerology, and gematria for the decisions. And these big people flood into the politicians, the nationalists, or the mainstream elite agendas that are being imparted upon us. Fundamentally, it's rooted in their knowledge of astrology, numerology, and gematria to specifically have certain events happen at certain times that are in resonance to the energy that's around us in the collective. And so we have the ability to also tap into that wisdom and knowledge, but use it for our own benefit. And that's what numerology has taught me. And I've been able to extend that into something practical, such as investing and trading in financial markets, for example. That's just one avenue of its expression. And so in terms of applying this to our codes, I'm just going to make some space. We're all comprised of an energetic blueprint that is unique to us and us alone. And you can use all sorts of different tools like astrology, human design, gene keys, enneagrams, numerology. They're all valid. It's a matter of which one resonates with you. But in numerology, we have 4 core numbers. We have the life lesson number, We've got the soul number, soul essence. We've got the outer personality number, And we have destiny number. And so the life lesson number is what we're going to address today. We're not going to have time for the rest, but maybe for the next workshop for sure. The life lesson number determines or helps you understand what are the key challenges that you'll face in life and what are the shadow aspects that you constantly find yourself exercising that are holding you back from overcoming those challenges. And so here we have the light and shadow aspects of the numbers. I didn't have space to do 9, but I'll do that once we get to it. The way we calculate our life lesson number is by adding the digits to our birthday. And so if I use my own birthday, for example, and there are multiple ways you can calculate your life lesson number, but let me show you an example of the way that I do it. So I'm born on the 31st of March, 1994. So there's 2 ways you can calculate your life lesson number. One is called the double digit delineation, where you maintain 31 as a double digit. So you do 31 plus 3 plus 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 4. And for me, I get 57. So 5 plus 7 equaling 12, 1 plus 2 equaling 3. So this expression, 57, is fundamentally a variation of the 3 energy, just expressed through the energy of 5 and 7 in its code. Another way you can calculate it is by stripping it down to the single digits from the beginning. So you'd have 3 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 4, in which case I'd get 4, 7, 8, 17, 26, 30. So according to the single digit, I'd be a 30, but fundamentally I'm still a 3 life path. That will never change. The reason why I prefer using double digits is because I've just noticed through my experience in decoding dates specific for crypto markets, the double digit delineation in numerology is more representative and paints a better picture in my brain and allows me to explore the combination of whatever that single digit number is through a way that resonates with me. Like if I think about what 5 and 7 represent within me and how I see the expression of the 5 and 7 energies in me, like it resonates more with 30, for example, but that's just me. Fundamentally, I'm a 3 life path. And so what really is important is understanding the energetics of what 3 is, understanding its personality, its characteristics, and all the shadow aspects that I find myself in that is holding me back from really stepping into the empowerment of who I really am through the light elements of the 3. And so I encourage you guys to get your notebook, just quickly calculate what your life lesson number is based on the double digit delineation. And we can dive a little deeper into what each of those mean once you've calculated that. I think it makes sense to just briefly touch up on what the other core numbers are, and then we'll move into the light and shadow aspect once we understand what other people, what everyone's life lesson number is, and we can go specifically into it to make it more specific to you guys. So we have the soul essence number, which essentially represents the essence of your soul that comes into this life with. And so with the life lesson number, we calculate using our birthday, but for the other 3, all 3 of these are calculated using your name. And so your soul essence number, think about it this way. It's like every word has consonants and vowels. The consonants are the vibrations or the sounds that we make that break, that act as breaks between the whispers of the vowels. And so we have, let's say, yeah. So we have the outer personality, which is calculated by the consonants in your name. Consonants. and we have your soul essence number using the vowels only in your name. And your destiny number is your full name. Now, numerologists typically suggest to use like the full birth name that was on your birth certificate. And I do agree with this too, because that's the name that was imprinted upon us, essentially, or chosen for us, or we chose on a soul level. And that has a lot of value and merit too. But a lot of people change their names and they identify as something else. And so we can also go into the decode of what that means. That's more representative of how they resonate with in the present moment. Fundamentally, your soul essence number is with the vowels in your name. The true essence of a word is in the whisper, in the whisper of a word, and it's the consonants that breaks that sound. And so soul essence being the true essence of who your soul is coming into this embodiment. Your outer personality is a number that doesn't necessarily reflect who you are, but it's how the outside world perceives you. We all have this mask or mirror that we put on that others interact with. And so how others receive me might be completely different to who I really am on a soul essence level. And so the outer personality, using the consonants in your name, determines what is that energy, what is the typical feel for which how others interact with me or how they see me. And your destiny number is your full name. And so this is what you're here to accomplish, fundamentally. And so we'll go into these, I'd say next time, because there are multiple different ciphers that you can use that allocates each number to each letter. You have English ordinal, where A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, etc., all the way to Z. And we have also something called the Chaldean cipher, which is the oldest numerological cipher that's known to date. And Chaldea originates from what's now modern-day Iran and Iraq, I believe. And it's a very accurate system. What they do differently is they don't include the number 9 in the numerology system. 9 is the sacred number, and they don't include it at all. And what that does is the removal of 9 adds a very interesting depth and accuracy to the alphanumerical decoding system. Very interesting, but we'll save that for another time. So if you guys have already calculated your life lesson number, would you like to share it so we can go a little deeper into what that might look like for you? You're a 4? Awesome. DJ, what's your birthday, bro?
December 2nd, 1988.
I knew you were a 4 before you said anything.
Also, Neil, you worked it out on one of those dinners we had together.
True, I did.
I worked that a long time ago too. So.
1988, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
I was thinking if you're a 4, then this is real. That was going to be my deciding factor.
So we've got 2 plus 12, 14, plus 10, 24, plus 16, 40.
I've got Destiny here as well if you want it.
Oh, nice.
It's a 6.
Okay, we'll save that for next time. Let's stick to life lesson number.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you wanted all these at once.
It's okay. No, we'll just stick to life lesson number for today.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so you're a 4 life path in combination of a 4 and 0. So there's it's heavy on the 4 energy. And so if we look at these are the characteristics of the numbers. We've got the shadow aspects of the numbers, which I've labeled in red, and we've got the light aspects, which are labeled in black, and we have the general expression of what that frequency represents in orange. And so for 4, as I mentioned, representing the physical plane, it's all about order, it's all about structure, it's creating the foundations in your life that allow for the creativity to flourish. And that foundation, very masculine, if you think about the shape of a square being a perfect 2-dimensional square, comprises of 4 perfect masculine shapes. Like in the world of art, a straight line is a perfect masculine shape, and a circle is a perfect feminine shape. And so 4 comprising of 4 straight lines is all masculinity, structure, authority, fitting into system, or creating a system that it aligns with. And so if we think about some of it's interesting. I'm going to propose the question to you. There's also a mic just behind my computer. Bring that closer to you.
Yeah.
These are the shadow aspects of the number 4, as well as the light aspects. Controlling, being alone, stubbornness, indecisiveness, harshness are these elements that you can see in yourself, where in times of challenge or struggle, you notice yourself exercising these traits and coming out of it.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't even know how to expand on that because it's all yeses. I can see how my ego responds or reacts under stress, and to try to control the situation, starting with the first one, it'll simplify through being alone, deflect by being stubborn, get choice paralysis, because as we go into survival rather than thriving, when we're thriving, our RAS, reticular activating system opens up and we see all options, all possibilities, and we become accepting of all of them. Whereas indecisive is, like, to me, choice paralysis, where you feel overwhelmed with so many directions, so many choices that you almost want to just choose only one thing to, again, simplify to survive. And then the harshness is more kind of like that stubbornness of insisting this is the way because we're in survival mode. So to me, the red, the shadow side, is really about the ego trying to stay alive and protect itself, or convincing us that we are in a fight or flight or flee situation, and that we have to simplify, control, and maintain a simple line before we can open back up and go, oh, it's safe, it's stable, it's secure. And then I kind of see some of those appear on the other side, where to touch on that briefly, it's like, oh, once I identify that things are safe, they become more organized and stable. My work becomes, how you do anything is how you do everything. So it becomes methodical, organized, purposeful, loving, smooth, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And then with that comes discipline, because it's a pattern and a habit of, again, how you do anything is how you do everything. And then the constructive just links back into that core of what a 4 is, which is building rather than destroying or stagnating. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And even just like observing you around the kitchen, the way you organize the space, I can see the knives right now, just like perfectly aligned,
pointed,
all pointed in the
like
same
everything, so that at first glance you might not pick up on it consciously, but your subconscious should feel this is a safe, clean, organized space. And then I know from experience, when people walk into a clean restaurant, they keep it clean. But if they walk into a dirty restaurant, they might put gum under the tables, or they might not even think about whether their shoes are on or off, or whether they're tracking in mud, or how they leave the table, or they leave trash places. Like, you walk into a clean space, subconsciously you keep it clean. And so that order, but it feels good. I mean, call it OCD on the shadow side, but on the light side, it's true organization, discipline, order, structure, consistency. So that it makes it easier for flow, is what I like about it, is because after working the space long enough, it's like, oh, I need a knife. You're already reaching for it, and you're not going to grab a blade because you already have them all the same way. And you almost can zone out into flow because all the things you need are exactly where they're supposed to be.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. Like all these aspects are your strength. Like, really lean into this and step into that empowerment, because it is through these elements that you just described that the balance of the feminine will naturally flourish within the container of safety that you've provided through your organization, through your structure, through your methodology, through your discipline. And so that's a real spark for you. And anytime you feel like you're going through a process in your life that has kept you or pulled you out of alignment, remember to identify some of the things that you might be expressing in terms of the shadow, and just bringing awareness to them, and just seeing that you're exercising these things are often enough to break you out of that pattern once you know what are the things that actually step you back into alignment and empowerment. And so the life lesson alone gives you so much value. It's like the most, if you think of like a pyramid of importance of the numbers in our code, the life lesson number is like definitely the most significant in terms of how our life is dictated. And just going deep into this number alone, whatever your life lesson number is, can help you so much, as it has done me. And since we're on that topic of my life path, 57.3, I could just briefly go into what the energetics of 3 represents to me and how my life has reflected that. 3, as I mentioned earlier, is the rawest form of creativity. And so creation and allowing myself to immerse in all activities that tap into my creativity is how I get my juice in life. Anytime I feel like I'm stuck or I'm in a bubble, I notice that I'm not in a place of true authenticity and expression of self. And so if I think about the shadow aspects, it's like, okay, what are the elements of the childlike nature of 3 that I see myself in? Definitely spreading too thin, like having too much on my plate is actually something that I'm experiencing now. The sheer pipeline of videos that I have to edit, it is a little overwhelming. And what it's teaching me is, okay, I can allow myself to create more space by not being aware of this trait that I have, taking on too much, because I think I'm capable and I do believe that I can execute it, but it comes to a point where it sort of paralyzes me at the same time. Naivety, for sure, overindulgent, that's absolutely a huge part of the shadow aspect of 3, which I'm so good at, so good at indulging in, is the overindulgence, right? But really, it's a matter of understanding the shadow and light aspects and really finding that middle ground and understanding you are going to find yourself experiencing or expressing the shadow aspects of your number. But that's also the point, because the reason why you're experiencing those things is because you're hitting some sort of wall that's about to help you break through. But the ego likes to be comfortable. The ego likes to remain in its natural state. And so you'll be filled with limiting beliefs, ideologies, even being receptive to certain energies and advice that doesn't actually help you propel forward, that feed into these shadow aspects. And really identifying and having clarity as to what these aspects are really helps you bring clarity and discernment as to what's in alignment to your true authenticity. Yes, bro.
So just from looking at this, number 1, you already cracked mine. It was 5, like 100%. So moving on, I already knew, like when I saw this, I'm like, EJ is a 4, and I think Merlin's an 8. And I think I cracked Merlin. Like I was trying to get his attention. We probably got it on camera. I'm like 8. I think you're an 8, bro. And so you want to calculate, see if we got this right?
Yeah. What's your birthday, bro?
He can't speak, but he can write it down.
Birthday, 6th April. Wait, 10. You're April 15th.
Yeah.
April 15th, 1978. Awesome. So I'll just make
So
some
he's an 8.
space.
I believe in all this 100%.
All right, let's figure it out. So 15th April 1978. Is it 78? Yeah. Okay. 7 plus 8. So we have 15 plus 4, 19, plus 10, 29, 36, 44.
Yeah.
Which is a power number.
Oh, so
44. So typically,
so you can't split that. So he's a 4.
he's a 44. And what this means, okay, this might be a good time to segue into master numbers and the significance to which why this will not be written as this, for example. Because, okay, I'm going to need some more space.
Like 4 plus 4 is 8, and then split the 8 to, you cannot split them.
Right, so typically in the rules of numerology, you simplify all numbers down to a single digit.
Yeah.
The only exception are master numbers and power numbers.
All right.
So master numbers are 11, 22, 33, power numbers are 44, 55, 66, etc.
Yeah.
And the reason for this is because consider master numbers and normal double-digit numbers as AM and FM on a radio. AM and FM never interact. You can have the dial on a certain frequency, but tune the AM and FM, and you'll get completely different signals.
I'm a master number 2, right? 55?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And so the reason why they don't, the reason why power numbers, master numbers do not get simplified is because they are the only numbers where both digits, 44 or 55, the combination of which are exactly the same. And so what that does is the polarity and the charge, not the polarity, but the charge in which the, it's like holding two north sides of a magnet facing each other. Like it's just going to be hard to push it together, right? And so what that does is it creates this force of polarity within that operates on a completely different frequency to all the other numbers. And so with master number life lessons, it comes with a lot of challenges, because what you're essentially, as a raw expression, you're already, I wouldn't say above the rest, but your ability to express the authenticity of that single digit, which in your case, Merlin, is a 4, is going to be so much more pronounced than any other double digit number. And so, 15. Yes, so you can calculate it as a 6 plus 4, so that'd be a different form of calculating your life lesson number, in which case you would get 35, which is an 8.
Yeah.
But the way that I personally like to do it in my readings, I like to use the double digit, because it gives me a bigger picture, just more of an accurate representation, just from my experience. But it's not wrong at all. It's not wrong at all for you to calculate it this way.
He's like a true master 8 that's still an 8 and does the master thing be the other thing.
Totally.
You got the both. I see it.
And look, this is where the magic kicks in. So we understand that the master numbers operate on a completely different frequency. So a lot of times, like, people get excited that they have a master number in their code. And yes, it has a lot of benefits in terms of the potency in which you can impact others. But really, it comes with a lot of challenges, equally the same intensity of challenges as the potency of your ability to create and influence. And so if you think about 44 being a combination of 2 4s, really it's like really honing in on the energy of the 4, understanding in even more depth that all of these aspects of the light and the shadow that you express are amplified in its effect.
I wouldn't be surprised if his essence or outer personality was the 8, and that could be.
Well, we could go into that like another time, or even like personally, just to like find the answer to that.
I have traveled with his brother, and I find myself selfish and addicted and impatient, and I find him definitely more like indecisive.
Yeah, make a note of it, because it's interesting to like tune in intuitively to, like, even when I'm connecting with someone new, it's like my brain's always going, it's like, oh, they're showing characteristics of this number. So it's very interesting to see, even for me, how I can tune in on someone's frequency and see how it actually reflects with their code.
I would say that this is a lot.
And so if you were to calculate your birthday using the single digit, you'd get 35, right? Oh, wait, I could just leave that there. If you do 1 plus 5 plus 4 plus 1 plus 9 plus 7, 8, you get 35.
The left off 5 is traveler.
Yeah, 35-8. So it would be written as 35-8. So it's fundamentally it's an 8 energy expressed by the container of the 3, which is the first digit, and the fuel of 5 that fuels it. And so elements of 3 and 5 in combination give you the strength of tapping into that. And so this is also an equally valid way of seeing your life lesson number, and another way in which you can see what are the elements to your challenges and obstacles that you face that you can tap into, the 3 and the 5, and step into that light aspect of these elements to really tap into the power of what 8 really means. Is that clear? Does that make sense? Yeah. So good call on your intuition. With him being an 8 and EJ being a 4. Yeah, spot on, bro.
I would have called myself for 5, but I didn't know if you didn't tell me already, just because the higher energy traveler.
Yeah, so let's work out yours, because it's awesome for those obviously online. Oh, we got some people. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Ethan. What's up, Shrey? How you doing, guys? Awesome to see you here. So Lorenzo and I have the same birthday. He's just 2 years older than me. And so if I were to calculate his life lesson, it'd be 31 plus 3, 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 2. And that's simply just 2 less than 57, right? So you've got 55, which would not be simplified down. 5 plus 5 being 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. It would not be written like this. It's a master number, and so it stays as a 55. And so essentially with master numbers, power numbers, you're solely depending on the energy of that number. And it almost creates this out of balance effect where with 44, there's a heavy emphasis on the masculinity, on order and structure in the physical. And there's this essentially a void that needs to be filled, equally potent, which is what the power of true connection to that master number attracts. And so in your case, MoZen, you've got 2 4s representing order, structure, physical, right? And what you need in order to really exercise the potency of what 44 means, all the challenges and all the things that you want to achieve and all the obstacles that you're facing, is really finding that balance of the feminine energy, which is interesting because you've been calling in more feminine leaders for your retreats, for Find Your Why. And so each number has inherently a masculine and feminine expression. There are only certain numbers that are androgynous. 5 is an androgynous number. And so it attracts masculine and feminine equally. And 5 is also the most sexual number out of the entire cycle of 1 to 9. And so typically it's like very sexually charged. It has the ability to attract both masculine and feminine energies, not necessarily always sexually, but just generally speaking, it's a very attractive frequency.
Should have been by.
Should have been, could have been by, could be by.
Missing my mind. EJ has something. If you...
Oh yeah. Yes, bro.
I just wanted to, I was following along, very interested, and I was just figuring out soul essence and outer personality, skipping ahead a little bit and having AI work it all out for me. And I just wanted to share the 4 sentences of my 4 numbers combined. It says, your highest form is a disciplined creator who builds stable income and influence through spiritually grounded content while remaining sovereign and unmanipulated.
Awesome. What are your numbers?
You gotta be careful with ChatGPT because they've gotten my astrology wrong.
Yeah, I've used ChatGPT for numerology too, and it's made many mistakes.
Always wrong.
Numbers to make mistakes.
Well, assuming this is correct, we've got 7 outer personality, 8 inner drive, 6 heart, and 4 foundation.
Yeah, those are numbers I don't even use in my. I don't know what the calculation is for those.
Well,
numbers.
yeah, I used your life lesson in Destiny because we went over that today. But as for soul essence and outer personality, I don't know if it's actually using the vowels and the consonants.
Right. But we can calculate that and go deeper into it for sure because it gives you great insight.
It's felt accurate, and so I just wanted to share with the class.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
And it could be right. I want to know. Keep us updated.
Yeah, for sure. And Jivan, you want to go a little bit into yours?
I'm a 3.
You're a 3 life path like me.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your birthday?
05 1975.
I need space.
Let me see. Let me guess what you give me really quick. I would say.
What is it?
2. I would say you're a 2.
I was with it here with saying
What is your birthday again, please?
12 05 1975.
So 12 plus 5, 17, plus 10, 27, 34.
Can I get 4 also?
So it's a 3.
39, exactly. So you're a 39, 3. So here you've got the combination of the 3 and the 9. I know I don't have the aspects of the 9, but I needed more space. I can maybe write it here later. But yes, you're a 3 life path, as am I.
Yeah.
And so looking at the shadow and light aspects of this personality, does this resonate with you?
Yes. I'd like to know an
If you could just give her the mic as well, please.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, the 3 resonates. I already knew this, that I was a 3 life path number. I like to know an example about overindulgence. overindulgent.
Overindulgence, yes.
Can you give an example for that?
Yeah, for me, it's like when I'm really enjoying something, I overdo it.
All right.
So like whether it's watching a series on Netflix, like if I like a series, like I watch it all as soon as I can. It's like a full immersion to the point of excess. Like there's one side of indulging in the things you love, which is important, but there's overindulgence where you sort of cross the line and it creates an imbalance within.
Oh,
Addictive personality feeds into this as well.
yeah.
Because if you think about like a curious young child, it finds something it likes and is just fully immersed into it, and nothing else is important. And that could be a strength for sure, but there's a fine line that needs to be maintained, right?
I recognize the hyper focus in that, and going, perfection. You cannot reach perfection, but like going to a point that you are happy with it and satisfied, and at that moment, I don't see the addictive part.
Yeah.
The addictive is definitely more 5,
Yeah.
and I have 5 everywhere in my code, so that's probably where I'm speaking from.
Yeah.
Um,
I can see it a little, but my mind is very strong in not going on that path.
mm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, it's great that you have that discernment.
Yeah.
It means you're not exercising in the shadow aspect of overindulgence, and you're actually very mindful and intentional with the avenues in which your creativity or your intrigue and your desire to explore and express takes you in.
Yes. I can recognize when I had my own company as a fashion designer, a few days or a week before the show started, fashion show, I can really push myself and work nights in a row and only with 1 hour, 2 hours sleeping in my studio,
Mhm.
and then even create the best opening catwalk piece like 2 days before the show, or maybe even one night before the show, because I see in the lineup something is missing, and I just push it out.
Yeah.
It's like a super force that's coming in. It's not always healthy for my health,
Oh, totally.
but I try to go till I'm satisfied, because if I'm not satisfied, I actually don't even want to present it.
Right. Yeah, no, I really resonate with
It
that.
has to give me a certain feeling
Mm.
of completion.
Exactly. I feel that way when I'm doing my own creations, whether it's editing videos or it's like gets to really finite details where I just want it to be exactly how I want it to be, and I'm not really going to rest until it's exactly that.
Yeah.
But also the aspect of waiting till like this essence of pressure of time, waiting to last minute enough to give you that energy to like really fully immerse and go into it.
Yeah.
I noticed that at university, where I wouldn't really pay attention or attend many lectures, but when it came to 2 to 3 weeks before exams, I was like, okay, now I need to study, and
Yeah.
that's when I fully immerse myself into it. So I kind of see parallels in terms of how you explained your moments as a fashion designer. Just a few days before a big day,
Yeah.
something switched, and you realized you had to do something. You
Yeah.
fully immersed into it. Yeah, that's the aspect of the expression and the creativity of the 3.
Yeah.
I'd say procrastination might also be like a shadow aspect of the 3.
Spreading too thin with your time, so doing too many projects, for example, and then not everybody can receive the 100%.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, now I'm seeing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm actually experiencing right now
Yeah.
in terms
Oh,
of
yeah,
the.
you are doing that too.
Hey, I'm doing it right now. Like I have so many videos that I have to edit.
I experiencing. I know also for myself, because I'm like waiting it and look at people's time spent for the other client, for example, and I know, sometimes I know I really have to choose, and sometimes I know I can do it both, because I know myself how much power I have.
Yeah.
And sometimes in the night, when everybody's sleeping, I can perform very well. I can do a lot. Because everything is quiet. It's about energy management.
Yeah.
But I also, that energy management could be a like a tricky thing, because sometimes I say yes to people, and actually in the past that was not always good, because it takes me out of alignment if I'm thinking about my own collections, what I was doing. For example, so I was at an Ayurvedic, Europe Ayurvedic center, for example, and also by these measurements, the advice was like, I have a like super powerful hara, like energy, this point, the power comes from there. The only thing where I have to be mindful is my energy management. So if my cup feels really full and I feel like superwoman, not give it all, but be very mindful how I use my energy so my cup stays full.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. That's something I can learn from
Yeah.
right now too.
Thank you.
Very good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can have those like energy
Bursts.
bursts,
Yeah.
right? Not being like bipolar or something. They call it bipolar, but it isn't.
Yeah.
But it's like very important how you use it, and that you observe yourself from a distance.
Yeah.
And make a planning. So for me, I can work in flow, but what gives me peace and ease is making like a whole wall with weeks and months, especially if you make a collection or working on creative projects, to make kind of timelines. And sometimes I did games with myself to see how fast I can do something, to have records.
Awesome. And remember, this is all just the life lesson number. Like these are just the four core codes. Like there's more, and you can go into time cycles and understand certain periods of time in which certain energies are more present for you specifically. That is calculated from these four codes. And so this is like just the tip of the iceberg, and it's so many more elements to our energetic blueprint that make us authentic and make us unique. And so it's a combination of all of these things that play into our expression. Just like in astrology, we have all these planets that are influencing us. It's a very similar principle. It's not just one thing, but the life lesson number helps you understand a lot of the key, like the biggest majority of our problems, let's say.
I also like to say something about shy. Myself, I was a little shy child sometimes, but I think shy for me, if I look at it now and also still how I am right now, is sometimes I'm quiet. I'm sitting outside the circle, and I first like to scan the whole energy of the room and the people. So it might seem like shy because I don't say so much, but it's more, it has to do with energies to see, do I fit here? Do I feel safe? Do I like to mingle my energy? It's more, I see it like that.
Totally. And actually what you're describing sort of intuitively connects me to the energy of 2 and the 7. The 2 is fundamentally very receptive and very intuitive. And so combined with the 7, where it's like it chooses isolation or removal of the norm or the community or society out of strength, because that strength is what gives it a clearer perspective, a clearer channel to source, to assess the situation, understand what information, emotions need to be processed to then come into the social cycle or the group or society through that power of strength and really provide the most. So I think you have 2 and 7 energies in your code to intuitively, I see that.
Very well. And also when I have my studio and then 7 interns for example, I really had to have my alone time charge up first, cleanse, charge up, and then after dinner time, my creative time was started in the evening, because in the daytime it was only managing people. And also, yes, to go like hermit myself.
Yeah, 7's the hermit number for
my
sure.
own energy, and then generating that power.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's very interesting.
Mhm.
And naive, I see more that you have that you come from a point of trusting and giving everybody an opportunity, and looking at the world, trying to look at it in a positive way. So being open. And sometimes, that can be called naive, because you are believing in the good of things. And
Always.
of people,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Until it's proven that they are not.
Exactly.
And you give people many chances.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can call it naive or.
But it's like childlike innocence. It's
Yeah.
like the purity within. I definitely relate to that. I feel like three energy tends to see the best and positive and the innocence and the truth in people until that is proven otherwise.
Yeah.
And that could lead you into situations where maybe if you had better discernment, you wouldn't have been in a situation that created some sort of discomfort.
Yeah.
But really, that's just part of the journey of being a 3 life path.
Yeah.
It's the experience of those events that build that discernment within yourself and allows you to have a clearer connection to your intuition as to what's the right way to move forward. But fundamentally, like that ability to always see the best in people and always like be willing to give them a chance and trust that they have the capacity to change if it doesn't resonate with how you want to flow interactively with them.
Yeah.
It's always going to be there, in my opinion.
Yeah. And sometimes I even see a greater version than that person really is, because I can already look into the future, or maybe a past life. Probably it's a future or another dimension where that man or woman can rise to, and I already see that vision, and it's so great. And then I see the rest of what it can create behind it.
Yeah.
Because I'm a visionary.
Yes, you are.
But it can be very tricky, because I can see somebody like she isn't there yet, and then making the wrong decisions.
You're almost projecting your own vision onto someone where they might not be ready to receive it. I can relate to that just based on what we spoke about yesterday and conversation that I had with family. It's like, okay, there's parts of me that's projecting how I see certain people in my family, but if they're not in a place to receive that, then you really got to use your own discernment to really meet them where they're at. That's one thing I really learned clearly from the Find Your Why retreat is we all have the capacity to create and influence, lead by example, and help others. But really, we can only offer a hand. They need to be willing to grab it. And so it's our responsibility as beings that can empower and lead others to lead them through their journey, not project our vision of where they should go or where they should be to drag them.
For me to learn.
Yeah.
And to be aware. And I think asking more questions, and that people really visualize in images and words, but visualize in images is even better.
And asking the right questions that from your wisdom, from the vision that you have of what you can see them unfolding into. It's what I've learned yesterday, thanks to Lorenzo, is like, how can we ask the right questions so that the suggestions and the ideas that we have are something that they come up with themselves. And so that level of empowerment from within is really what sparks them into action, because it's not something that they're receiving externally. It came from within. Yeah. And so as stewards of divine wisdom and connected to spirit as we are, with the intentionality and love that we have to share and contribute and help others, it's our responsibility to really navigate that as teachers in the right way and approaching people and situations in a methodical way, in a way that optimizes their journey and their learning experience.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Beautiful. Okay, so I think we've hit an hour, and so we can wrap up. If you guys have any more questions, we can get those answered. If not, we can end it. We can end it there.
I love to go deeper in this, also about my soul path.
Yeah.
And for now, I have to go.
Sure. Thank you so much for joining.
Be cool.
It was great seeing you again.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Thank you.
How
Thank
is
you.
this tied into astrology? Like, have people noticed that there's a lot of similarities to the astrology, or people seeing like some differences too?
I think from experience, like for me, astrology, there's different types of astrology too. It's like there's tropical astrology, which I resonated a lot with if I think about myself a little younger, and this Vedic astrology or sidereal astrology, which I resonate to more now as I'm more connected to spirit. These are all tools: astrology, human design, gene keys. Thank you, Jay. Thanks for joining. These are all tools, as is numerology. They all bring value in helping you understand through different lenses of your energetic blueprint. And they have different ways in which they come to those conclusions. Astrology uses the stars, numerology uses numbers, gene keys uses a much more intricate method. You can also have the deck of cards, which is an entire system in itself, and that's actually an extension of my numerology readings that I offer. You have the cards, which have numerical value, but also part of a suit. And in combination, the deck of cards is a timekeeping system, combining numerology and astrology to create the deck of cards. And so we can go deeper into that, but there's loads of different modalities and tools that you can use, and it's a matter of just tapping into which one resonates with you the most. There's no right or wrong. They're all equally valid. But it's like, which one does, which tool really sparks that light within you to allow yourself to gain more understanding and really give you clarity as to what's the right way in which you're here to move forward based on your energetic blueprint, but what you're here to do, what you're here to serve the world with.
So, life lesson. Would this be the one that connects most with like what you're meant to do in life, or one of these other ones more?
What you're meant to do, I would say, is more destiny, like what you're here to achieve. Like the destiny you're here to.
Destiny, real quick, since I'm
Yeah, sure. We can work out your full name.
Let's do it. It's Leighton, Leighton.
All right. Let's make some space for Leighton.
Yes, sir. Leighton Todd the third got 3 already.
So, L-E-I.
So I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 3 because I've already got the 3 in my name.
Was it Leighton what?
Full name?
Yeah.
Oh, Leighton Todd.
Leighton Todd.
Leighton Ray Todd. You have to put the whole thing. Like,
Yeah. Full name. What's on your birth certificate?
Leighton Ray, R-A-Y, Todd, T-O-D-D, the third.
So it's like I.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting because I've never had a name like that before. So that's not only just a 3, but it's also 3 I's. And so I use the Chaldean cipher. Let me just get it up since we're on this topic. Chaldean. I have these 2 codes. Chaldean calculator decoder. Okay, so Leighton
Try to get my destiny number.
Ray
My full name has been
Todd the third. Wow, you're not gonna believe this, bro. According to the Chaldean cipher, which I use to be the most accurate, your destiny is a 55. So your life lesson and your destiny number is 55. So not only are the challenges that you'll experience in life going to be dealt with the energy of 5, but what you're here to achieve is the energy of 5 in both its magnitude of the power number 55. And so, bro, like It's one of the reasons why I think we really get along too, is because I have 5 everywhere in my code too, and just like seeing 5 everywhere in your code too, it makes sense. Like what we stand for is freedom,
Yeah.
self-expression, not wanting to be conformed in any structure. We create that structure. We're rebellious.
Yes.
We do things our own way, and we
Yeah.
don't really care if anyone's going to play along or not. But we know that that's what we got to do,
Yes.
and traveling's a huge part of it.
And we're planning. It's funny to hear from you, the person with my same birthday, as we're planning a travel trip together. As I was going to give up in traveling, and now I'm like, no, I have to do it more consciously.
Yeah.
And actually make it a full purpose. That's actually, like we're saying, in my destiny. I'm saying I want to travel, do the thing I've been doing, but I want to do it with purpose,
Mhm.
which is another way of saying I want to do it with true destiny.
And commitment to your highest self.
Oh yeah.
That's what it is. Like, yeah, I spent a lot of time traveling, and it was just like backpacking and exploring, etc., without the true purpose and intention that we're traveling this year with. It's a matter of really committing as a disciple of God, being disciples of ourselves, being disciplined within
Yes.
ourselves. That's where disciple comes from, is the discipline aspect of it.
Now it helps us uncommitted.
Mhm.
Can we do one more? Or is it too much time to do like one more?
No, we can do more. I've got the calculator right here,
Or
bro.
maybe Merlin wants to get calculated up too.
Yeah, sure. What was it? Marcus
And if you're
Hines?
watching this, then you should definitely hit this brother up and have him do some calculations and readings for you. This isn't my first time. I'm just going deeper with him on the live.
I hope. So Merlin's destiny number is a 37, which is a 1. So Marcus Hines. I don't know if he has a middle name, but if he doesn't, usually I prefer middle names. Do you have a middle name, bro? What's the
You guys
name
write
on
some
your
stuff down. Everybody on the live, give a moment to Marcus.
birth
Merlin.
certificate?
And you know what, dude? Like I see that because his destiny, like he's that's the leader, masculine. Yeah, 4 and 1 are the most masculine because 4 is made up of like 4 times 1. It's like 1's the first masculine stretch. 4 is like the completion of the masculine. You know.
Yeah.
And I bet there's 8 on this chart somewhere too, which gives that like real like Trinity masculine.
8 is also masculine inherently.
Yeah. I see that.
We've got 2, 3, 6 that are more feminine in nature. 7 also is masculine in nature. They just have different expressions of them.
And 5 is the one that's like that makes sense. It's right.
Androgynous. Well, think about it this way, right? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll draw 5 here. 6, 7, 8, 9. It's in the midpoint. You've got 4 on this side, and you've got 4 on this side. And so it's like the epicenter of the cycle. So it has the ability to attract everything because it's the center of the cycle.
Which makes sense. I want to be my goal is to be a bridge. You know?
Yeah.
To be a bridge. Connect the dots.
Just waiting for Marcus to set up his device so he can capture this juice. That's so interesting. Your destiny number is 55, bro. It's just 5 everywhere.
So what about soul? Yeah,
we could do that. If we're waiting, we can quickly do soul. So just be the vowels.
I expect the soul essence to be 7 and out of personality 3 or 7.
I. Oh, interesting. Well, the 3rd makes it very interesting because, well, it actually is perfect because I is 1 and 1, 1, 1 is 3, as is 3 I's being the 3rd. So actually, that's so perfect. So your soul essence number is 24.
Oh, it's my brother's birthday is on the 24th
Nice.
of March. Yeah.
Awesome. So that's your soul essence, and your outer personality number would be all the consonants in your name.
Okay.
So L.
All right, soul essence, unity, harmony, compassion. I can see that.
Ray.
Yeah, peacemaker. All right.
Todd.
I'll take that.
Oh, and your outer personality is a 35-8. Interesting. So this is how other people might perceive you: is a creative, free, creative, with abundance and with the power to attract abundance. I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of people will interpret or interact with you through that lens, because that's the mirror that you present for them. I would say I resonate with that too, like the conversations that we've had and your ability to express through your authenticity and willingness to travel and all the plans that you have. Like there's an element of, okay, this guy has clearly have the resources to fund this epic life that he lives, right? And so I can agree with that for sure. Marcus,
Let's see that.
do you have a middle name, brother? You do? Because that'll be useful. Marcus Donald Heinz. Okay, so Marcus Donald Heinz. Number again. Why is it 15, not 6? It's just the method of calculation. So there's single digit numerology, single digit delineation, double digit delineation. Double digit basically means you maintain the double digit when you're doing the sum. You only simplify right at the end. Whereas a single digit, you simplify from the beginning. I just found that through experience, the double digit delineation is more accurate in applying to real world scenarios when I'm investing in trading on crypto markets, for example. And the response I get when I use that method in calculating other people's life lessons. So it's just a personal choice, but they're both equally valid. Exactly. So it'd be 15 plus 4 plus 1 plus 9 plus 7 plus 8 to give you 44. No, with the year, it would just be the individual numbers. So for example, if someone's birthday was like 22nd December, because you've got double digits in the date and the month, I'd do 1990, for example. I'd do 22. Firstly, you wouldn't simplify that anyway, because that's a master number. Okay, in which case I'll use a different one. Let's say 21st. So I'd do 21 plus 12 plus 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 0. So I'd maintain the double digit and only simplify right at the end. I just find that process to be more accurate for me. So Marcus Donald Heinz. This is 61 destiny. So your destiny. I'm going to write it in red. Marcus Donald Heinz. This is 61-7, which fits in really well with Merlin and the wizardry that you express. Your destiny is to be a sacred channel to source truth. And this is your destiny number we're referring to. And this is what you're here to achieve, what you're here to manifest, what you're here to be, is a channel of source truth for the world. And it is your psychic abilities, it's your perception, it's your intuitiveness, it's your connection to source that is your superpower. That's what you're here to achieve, is really tap into that and express that in your creation. 7 energy here. And 6 and 1, interesting in combination. You've got the container of the 6, which represents harmony, unity, compassion, community, bringing people together, family oriented. That's very much the essence of who you are. Just from the few weeks that I know you, you have your own community here. The topic of family is huge in your life too. And with the combination of 1, the fuel of the 1, it's the fuel of the leader, fuel of the visionary. Knowing which direction you need to go, understanding the steps that you need to take to get there, and taking action on that. That's the combination of the 6 and the 1 coming together to express the power of the 7, the enigma that you are. So cool. What's your soul essence number? Marcus Donald.
Yeah, you truly are more than use.
Again, this is the mirror. Your soul essence is a mirror. 16. So your soul essence, the essence in which the soul comes into this incarnation, is also represented by the 7. And so naturally, this is probably something you've had all your life, is this ability to tap into source truth, tap into the sacred channel. And maybe even a lot of times you had to sort of remove yourself out of strength from either family or society, because you realize that that is the state in which you gain your strength, you gain your healing, you gain your expansion, connection to spirit, and then you bring that wisdom into the real world and show up differently for your people. And your soul essence is a mirror of 61. So here we have the container of the 1 with the fuel of the 6. So the container of the 1 is like your true essence is led by your masculine, visionary, creator, initiator, independent, leader qualities, fueled by the necessity or the need even to channel that creativity into bringing people together in harmony, in unity, in a community, as a family. The topic of love, bringing people together. That's really what 6 is. 6 represents family. That doesn't have to be a blood family. It could be the family you choose, the family, your tribe that you're creating here. All linked to the sacred channel that you are, bro. Like the fact that your name is Merlin. Like, let's go into Merlin, what that decode looks like.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Merlin, according to Chaldean, let's say Merlin, Marcus Merlin Hines. Marcus Merlin Hines. Marcus Merlin Hines is a 57. So again, you have 7 in that too, which is fundamentally a 3. But if we just use Merlin, then you're a 2, 20. Just Merlin alone. So this is interesting too. Like when Merlinius, when people change their names, it's often because they resonate with that frequency more, right? Merlinius. Merlinius is a 7.
Yeah.
34.
Gotcha, bro.
You've got 7 everywhere
I
in your
got
code,
you.
bro.
Can't cut the
That's
name
actually
short
amazing. That's
for
insane.
Merlinius.
So much 7 energy,
Gotcha.
which makes sense. The philosopher, the wizard, the hermit, wanting to live in the mountains, in a cave even, meditate, write, read. Writing and reading is a huge part of the 7 energy. It's a very creative number. My soul essence number is also 7, according to one cipher. And so, I mean, I've experienced it myself when I had my Instagram channel that blew up. A lot of the content was just me in the descriptions of each post was like a very deep breakdown as to my perspective on things. It was an expression of creativity that allowed me to tap into more of being a sacred channel, understand more through writing, through reading, to connect more with source. It's a form of healing. And so if you're not writing enough, then that's absolutely something you should do more on, to the point where you can absolutely have a book or multiple books, which might be something that you're already working on. But like really, that's a gift, and the world would love it, because that's who you are, clearly, with your code. And just understanding the elements of the shadow and light aspects of the frequency, you can see where in your code that number sits, understanding what each number represents, and how you can express yourself to the highest authenticity and highest expression. And it's all a combination. It's all like a web of energies coinciding simultaneously in the now moment, as it is with the stars and all the constellations that are impacting us collectively, but also individually. It's the same thing. Collectively, we're going through a calendar system. Whether you align or resonate with the way in which the calendar system applies or not is besides the point, because collectively, the world believes, the collective belief system is that we live in this Gregorian calendar where January is the first month, February is the second month, March is the third, etc. But in reality, if you look at how the months are labeled, you've got September, October, Sept, Octo, Novem, Deci. It's actually 7, 8, 9, 10. And so the real calendar system is March being the first month. not January. And that's why a lot of people that set New Year's resolutions at the end of January into the 1st of January, end of December into the 1st of January can't hold them because the energetics is completely off. That's not the time to set New Year's resolution. The time to set a New Year's resolution is actually on our birthday, end of March, or the start of March even. That's like when spring starts, it's the start of something new. Winter's over, spring starting, it's the start of new. Okay, we've understood what we've learned from the previous cycle, what we need, what we don't need. And it's like, okay, taking intentional decisions that actually help us move into the next cycle with more expansion and alignment. And so the Gregorian calendar, in my opinion, was designed specifically to derail us from the truth, depending where we are to the equator. Yes, true. The Southern Hemisphere have it reversed. Yes, it's true. Yeah. So for people, for people living in the Southern Hemisphere, it would be different. But in terms of numerology, like it still applies, in my opinion. I haven't gotten deep into the Southern Hemisphere, which is interesting because most people live in the Northern Hemisphere. And so this ties into tropical astrology too, because I believe tropical astrology is a psyop. And it was designed to only cater for a certain amount of people to derail us from what the sky actually looks like right now. Just as the Gregorian calendar system is sort of forged a few months off sync to make us believe a certain way, which isn't in a harmony with how the calendar system actually is to be interpreted and understood.
Can you try Lance? That was the nickname that I was given as a kid.
Oh yeah. Just Lance?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what that is. Lance is 17. It's an 8, bro. And look if you look at Lance as a breakdown of what each letter is, according to Chaldean. Lance. We got 3, 1, 5, 3. Is that 3, 5?
Oh, so my 55 is there.
You got 5s in there, you got 3s in there, bro, and this all adds up to 8. 3 plus 1, 4.
On Leighton is
9,
35.
12.
So it's the same as. So it's the same. So my outer personality is the same. My legal name and then my nickname.
Your legal name.
Leighton Raytado. I was called Lance
Right,
as a kid. And
right.
Then Lorenzo. One last one. Lorenzo.
Lorenzo.
No, I'm just curious.
Lorenzo is a 36, which is a 9.
Ah, okay.
So Lorenzo is a 36. 369, bro. 9 represents the completion of the cycle. It's the wisdom of the whole cycle. And with the expression of the 3 and 6 inherently incredibly feminine in nature and very expressive in nature, it's like you have the ability. So with nicknames or the name you associate yourself with, in which case yours would be Lorenzo, yours could be Merlin, I'm Neil, whatever name we choose, just that singular name, not the full name. It's essentially the vibration of the natural talent that comes through us, because that's the vibration we resonate with the most. When someone calls your name, they never really call you your full name. They just call you your name, Lorenzo, Neil. That's what you respond to.
Yeah.
And so you're responding more to that frequency. And that's something that you've had since however long you've had that name. And the frequency of that number is like the natural talent that you have to express that frequency in your life. And so in your case, is the wisdom and the knowledge that you have from understanding different people's perspectives and experience through your own, and having that discernment and almost empathy in realizing how you can really connect with other people through that wisdom, and really guiding people through that wisdom, through that state of wanting to be philanthropic, to help the wider community, to change the world. These are like very big picture visions that the 9 is capable of achieving if it's tuned in appropriately.
Oh, okay. So the 9 wasn't something that was written, because you said you didn't write down the 9.
Yeah, I didn't have space, but I could write it down if you guys want to take a photo of it as well. I'm going to make space. You can take a photo of this first if you want to, or I'm going to rub it off so I could just make space for mine. And And I can also send you guys a link as to where I calculate my decodes. You can, we'll go into that next time now, because the name isn't really something we were going to go into today, but I'm happy we did, because there's a lot more detail to go into this. This is all very surface level stuff.
Get a picture of you in it. Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll make space for the 9. And take a photo of that as well. Yeah. All right, awesome.
Yeah, I feel like I have a lot of Hanuman energy, and I feel like when I see that 5, I'm like, a master 5 feels like the Hanuman energy, where it's like you're not just rebellious, but like God called you to be rebellious. Like you're the rebellious essence of God. That's how I feel about myself. You know, like this explosive, you know, like
Yeah.
child warrior, you know, of God.
Yeah, bro. That's interesting. Yeah, I can totally see that 5 energy in Hanuman. It's that strength and empowerment of authenticity and wanting to be committed and wanting to serve out of the spark of their light, which is representative of all of these numbers, to be honest. But
And he has a lot of 3, Hanuman, because he has a lot of that he's able to do so much, but he's so like wild about it.
what's Hanuman's birthday?
And I would say harmony and compassion too. I would say 6, 3, and 5 from Hanuman. What's Hanuman's birthday?
Yeah, what's Hanuman's
I don't
birthday?
think we know.
Let's calculate his life path.
You could do the name.
Let's calculate his life
You
path.
could do his name, man. Hanuman.
Yeah, I can. Switch accounts. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna need my phone for this. So,
Yeah, bro. I think this should be super killer. Like you do a few of these for free, you film it, and then you on Instagram you post up these little marks where you have content of like us asking you to do our thing, and we're like, oh wow. And then you cut to yourself, like, hey, if you're interested in seeing how numerology can help you in your path, I'm opening up 3 sessions this week. Or I'm going to do 5 sessions this week. The first 5 or DM me or comment below. Numbers are awesome. If you want me to reach out to you and schedule out a private numerology session,
yeah, bro.
something like that
Like
would be sick. Because let's say from this you piece together like 30. You can post like 30 videos just from this, like every day, like 2, and then have on the bottom comment below. Numbers rock. If you want to do, if you're interested in getting more info about a private session. That's what I'm seeing. I'm thinking we hit if you want to message me it, I think we hit a guitar lesson now. Otherwise, I think I only walk back up here because I'm fasting. I would only walk back up here if we're playing Catan or watching a movie about Merlinius or something to make up for Spirited Away. It's one of the best movies ever, but everyone went to sleep and it was not the vibe for. And by the time we got to it, everyone was like reading in Japanese was not the vibe. So I'm down to watch a movie tonight. I'm kind of enjoying the. Oh, there is that movie about ping pong with Timothy Chalamet, Marty Supreme. Got super high reviews. Down for Catan, but also if you're doing your thing, and you don't want much going on tonight, but I'd say we just do the guitar lesson essentially now. Yeah, so send me a message. Let me know.
Alrighty. So that's with 9.
Yeah.
Take a photo.
Intelligent, merciful, visionary, deep, adaptive. Yeah. This makes sense. I like, you know what it is? Like, one of the things that I feel is missing from my numbers chart is like a more like psychic kind of like, and then visionary makes sense on here, visionary, because I have a lot of Pisces. I'm a Pisces Vedic, and most of my stuff is in Pisces, and I'm a crazy dreamer. And so, like I have a lot of dreams and things where visions where they come true, and I've seen a lot of like ability to like read people very well. So I could see how visionary, deep, like always going super deep, like too deep. My mom as a kid used to get annoyed because I would just think so deeply about everything. I broke everything down like to the finite.
Awesome.
Maybe I really am Lorenzo.
Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm going to end it here. See you next time.